Joseph, let me just so we have a sort of a
Absolutely.
complete picture here, tell us about your story, because this is also a brand new story.
Much like Jules was saying, I knew I was gay when I enlisted on my 18th birthday. And I had to make that decision as well. I knew about Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and I chose country over self. I felt that serving was far more important than those very young years of my sexuality, and I figured I could put that off for however long. Unfortunately, I was far more ignorant than Jules in that I didn't really investigate the Don't Ask, Don't Tell policy, and I was unfortunately, like many people now, confident that I would be safe under the policy, that don't ask, don't tell. As long as I did my job and as long as I didn't tell anyone, I would be perfectly okay. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case.
What happened?
So I chose...
You went in the Navy, right?
I joined the Navy after... I also tried to get into the Naval Academy, but initially they wanted to know why someone who was so weak in math wanted to go to a math, science, and engineering school. And so I wanted to prove to them why. So I joined the Navy, and I chose overseas. And once overseas, as a Master at Arms or military police officer, I then wanted to bump it up. I wanted to be a canine handler. I knew that the explosives were the biggest detriment to our soldiers and to the mission out there. So I became part of this unit, thinking that they were elite, that they were stronger, and that they were a family. Unfortunately, I walked into an environment of hazing. I walked into an environment of corruption, and simple things like not wanting to drink, not wanting to gamble, and not wanting to solicit prostitution brought into question my sexuality. And
because real men do that.
Exactly, and that's that's been my point all along. Is had I been heterosexual or had that prostitute been male, on a moral principle, I wouldn't have been any more compelled to have obliged.
Right.
So I stuck to the policy. I was asked and harassed, are you gay? Are you a fag? You must be queer. And I thought to myself, I know my rights and I know the law, and I just won't tell them. I didn't understand the danger that would put me in. Not telling made it more enticing, made me more of a target.
Where were you stationed?
I was stationed in Bahrain. And a military investigation that's been certified by the Chief of Naval Operations reports that I was bound to chairs, fed dog food, ordered to simulate gay sex on video with military working dogs around, and several other things for an entire period of 28 months when all I wanted to do was serve overseas.
So how did it come to an end?
I eventually did get accepted to the Naval Academy Preparatory School.
You did?
I did.
Wow.
Three tries, and I guess they figured this guy really wants it. And my service had proven that I was a respectable and honorable service member. So I arrived there, and it was there that I had to evaluate. I had to evaluate how my service was rewarded, what the rest of my life under this policy would mean. And more so, the direct contradiction the policy and the life I was forced to live was to our core values of the military. And I came out there.
Came out while you were at the academy?
I came out while I was at the academy. They put me on restriction for about 2 months while they figured out what to do with me. And here's where I got my education in Don't Ask, Don't Tell, because the first problem was, does he fit under the enlisted policy or the commission policy?
Oh, wow.
So it is far more forgiving for officers because of the money that's invested in them. And so that was highlighted to me, the hypocrisy of the policy. So it really doesn't matter that you're gay, because if you're valuable enough, we might want to keep this quiet. And that was the option that was put to me, was based on your service, based on your potential, take it back. And you can go on to the Naval Academy. And that was a direct contradiction of our core values. There was no honor, no courage, and no commitment to what I had decided was right. I lost my life dream just for refusing to deny who I am. And I was discharged.
And so what are you, I mean, you're all clearly, in your own way, spokespeople now, and it's probably as honorable as what you might have done in the service. What are you doing now, and what are you thinking of doing with this understanding that you have?
Sure. I am a full-time student because I understand that when we repeal this policy, if I don't have a degree to make a difference, it won't be much good. I won't be much good to the cause. So I am a full-time student. I'm a junior, and my graduation will align with the potential repeal a year from now. And originally, I wanted to become an officer for me. I wanted to. It was my own dream. And now, after having spent the past 6 to 8 months full-heartedly dedicated to educating people on why this policy hurts the entire country and everyone, gay, lesbian, straight, male or female, I understand that I feel a responsibility now that if I had anything to do with the repeal, then I need to more so get that commission for our young men and women in uniform who are going to be affected directly when we repeal. So they're going to need an inside man to make sure that the things that occurred to me when I was in the Middle East don't happen to them. The repeal can't be left alone to some of the hands that are not our best friends.